Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we will be having a look at this bad boy. It's the AK Frequently Asked Questions on Figure Painting Techniques. That's the word, or words. It's by the world-renowned figure painting artist Kirill Kanaev. He known for doing a stack of box art. And box art, if you don't know, is just obviously a figure on the front of the box when you buy your bust, large figure, whatever. He also does lots of teaching and all that good stuff. I thought long and hard about getting this. I keep bleating on that I'm on a budget, but I am. And this is an expensive book, I'll not lie to you. You can get it. I got mine from the Scale Model Shop. By the way, I bought mine. I have no connection to AK. I've obviously bought it, but I've got no connection to AK. I am a friend of Kirill Kanaev on Facebook, but this is Facebook friends. He doesn't know I exist. I just follow his work. And I've been following his work on Putty and Paint, which is a website dedicated to figure art. And they do have some scale modelling in there as well. But on the whole, it tends to be busts, large-scale figures, that type of thing. But he's been displaying his art on there for since it's been going, and I've been following it for that length of time. As I say, I got mine from Scale Model Shops. Again, no connection. £72, I believe, and around £4 postage. I was really dacking it, as we say in the UK. I'm thinking, I've just spent £70 on a book. I hope it's good. I mean, I know the guy's artwork's good, but you know, I hope it's good. I have got my good friend Frederick from the Hobby Shack channel. He'd sent me a T55 book, which I've shown you before, and that is excellent. And I do find these AK publications really, really. They've helped me. I've got one, two now. But the T55 book has helped me in so many ways other than working on a T55. And I'm here to tell you that this book is worth every single penny. It covers everything you need to know, as you'd expect it to, really. But you know, from prepping figures, it's not just on busts and large scale figures. If you paint down to 1:35 scale, if you can paint in any scale, it's not. I would say it's not really put out there for the wargaming community. It's a different style in a way. But if you're getting painting 1:35 scale figures for your dioramas like we do. You will learn a heck of a lot from this book. It'll show you how to do eyes at that scale, everything. Now I'm going to have a flick through. I would advise you. I finally broke. Frederick sent me a photograph of this, and I'd actually seen a couple of the already, probably the same day. They'd started putting up sneak previews of the book that it was coming out back in November, I believe. And he was good enough to send me some pictures on Messenger, just saying, hey, you might want this. And I did until I saw the price. And so he sent me those photographs, so I'm leaving train of thought here. There's been other people putting reviews of this. I don't, as you know, normally open books up. I do believe the credit needs to go to the people that write them and the people that publish them. It costs a lot of money. Kirill says in the book it took him 2 years to put this down in paper. So it's just a personal decision of mine. I won't be opening up pages and showing you a page of him going through say painting Caucasian skin. I'm not going to give you a free screenshot of that. Buy the book. I know I've had to scrape the barrel to get it. I will be showing you some pictures of the artwork, of his artwork, but I won't be showing you how some of his what he does. The book though covers, as I say, anything from prepping your figures, and you may go, oh yeah, do we really need to know that? yes, prepping your figures, because again, this book can be taken up by somebody who's never painted before, or it can be taken up by someone like me with the basic levels. I've only got basic levels in painting figures, and you will improve on those. Will it make you Kirill Kanaev, world-renowned, medal-winning, all that stuff, figure artist, or somebody of his ilk? And I could you ain't going to know them, but most of you, if I trailed a load of names off to you, you wouldn't really know them, so there's no point me doing it. But he's one of a select group of artists, 10, 12, maybe a bit more, that are really well known. And then probably the same again, which should have better exposure than they do. But will we get to their standard? Will we go to, I can't remember the damn show now in Italy, Monty something, they just call it Monty. Could we go there and win a gold medal? Probably not. But I will guarantee you there will be a small few of you out there that will buy this book from scratch, and however long it takes you, I don't know, but you'll be winning medals if that's what you're into from this book. Not that he's particularly done that for that reason, he's just showing you how he does figures. But for someone like me, I just love to paint. And I've had a skim through yesterday, started reading it properly. I'm struggling on, he doesn't go into colour theory, how colours work. Well, he does to a degree, how colours work together, but he'll explain one particular colour wheel. He'll explain how the colours are produced next to each other, how to saturate, desaturate colours, and he's got all swatches, so squares of paints and all that. Don't bypass that, because he's trying to give you in a short amount of time and in a concise, bit of reading material, he's trying to give you the basics of the fundamentals of why you're doing something later on. But he does then go, as he says, I haven't even reached that. I've had a flick through, but obviously I haven't read it yet. But he says we'll go back to this when I get to whenever he's going to be explaining that thing. As I say, it goes. He's got loads and loads of examples of his own painted work. He's got loads of examples of different textures. So loads of fabrics, woolen fabrics, linen fabrics, tartans. And how you can replicate that in painted form. Non-metallic metal, how to use different types to achieve a decent metallic finish. It's not just a case of getting a pot out of paint and that. He's got all that. Interspersed amongst all this is different photographs of his busts and his figures, which I've been following for years. I've seen them before. You'll see, if you go down to Putty and Paint, which is a figure artist website you can join, you'll see all the backs, fronts, sides, all the rest of it, because most of the top artists go on there to get their work exposure out there. So you won't just see the one side or two sides in the book, you'll see lots more. But just skimming through it, it's fantastic. I've gone right off tangent as usual, because what I was trying to say is my good Mara Victor of Vic's Miniatures. Is that right, Victor? I'm doing it again. I will try and remember. I can't always remember. I will try and remember to put a link to Victor's channel down. He's done a more flick through approach to his. We just come at it different ways. That's all. But it was his video, nobody else's, that finally broke me to get the book. And literally I ordered the book halfway through his video. I stopped his video, ordered the book, then went back to it. So it was a good job he wasn't slagging it off for the last part of the video. I didn't really think. But if you want to see more of that type of thing, all I'll be showing you is a quick flick through in a minute of some of his artwork. I don't think AK can complain at that. I'm thoroughly flogging their book for me for nothing. Again, if you want to start figure painting, I would say this is the go-to book to do it. There are a lot more others out there. some will scratch the surface, some might be a bit in depth on a particular thing, but for me, you are following in the steps of a world-renowned painter, and he doesn't overcomplicate stuff where he can. He as I say, step by step. I can't go into loads because I haven't read it all. It's a big book, but again, as usual, it's pushed me. I was going to do my Native American mounted figure. I'm probably now going to be doing that bust of the fight pilot with the Cocker Spaniel on his shoulder, just because I want to try some of the techniques out. It won't be for a while yet, or for another 3 or 4 weeks yet. I need to get stuck into some other projects yet, but definitely. Right, I'm waffling. I think I've sold the book enough. If you're interested, but we'll just have a quick flick through some of the artwork, just so you can see the type of standard of Kirill's work. And you never know, you may be meeting that standard yourself, with a great big gold medal around your neck or whatever they give out on these competitions. See you in the deck. See you down at the desk in a minute. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench as I desperately try and get everything into view without knocking my tripod over. Sorry about the glare, there's not much I can do about it. It is a softback cover. Do I like that? Just for the handling side of it, this is a book that will be handled a fair bit. I do prefer hardbacks. When I buy I'm a collector of military history books, and I tend to buy in hardback rather than soft when I can. It is what it is. I don't know if a hardback would have helped it, would it have made it more expensive? Well, you know, that's your call. I just wanted to show you this guy, if you can see him. There's no point me trying to make this any less shiny, because it's a magazine quality paper, if that makes sense. Very nice quality paper. I remember him doing that one, and I just thought, wow, you know what I mean? Just a beautiful bit of work. So what I'm going to do is keep turning this off, I think, so we can actually see the photographs. Right, we've got a couple of World War II subjects here. Again, there's not a great deal I can do about the shine. If I turn the light off, what will happen? That will happen. And I can't really afford to turn the other light off, I don't think. We'll just give that one a go. Right, I don't know how well that's going to be for you, but we've got a Soviet, looks like a scout with his camouflage on. We've got a Fallschirmjäger field gendarmerie. Again, I've following his work, I've seen these over the years, and it'll go into all the textures. Get that there. His ammo pouches there, the texture on that, on the field gendarmerie, ammo pouch textures, fabric textures. He goes into all that. He'll show you how to paint wood, how to paint the different metal colours. Obviously the fabric on the glove there, you'll be taught all that, or the wool I should say. So it's such a heavy book. Now I'm going to have to just keep turning it off. Again, a couple of well-known. I'm not going to start mentioning the companies because I'll get them mixed up and crediting the wrong companies to the wrong bust. But we've got our SAS guy there. Colours, it's an AK book. They'll give you AK colours. However, especially they're obviously pushing their new, I can't even remember what it's called, next generation, is it? Something like that. Third generation, that's it, third generation acrylics. I've not got any. I don't know how good they are. But they do, as Victor said in his video, they do mention Vallejo at the back. They've got a table at the back for Vallejo, and I think one of the others, which I can't remember right now. To be honest with you, I don't ever really go on a particular model's colours. I just match what I think is right, if that makes sense, and I mix it myself out of, just out of bottles. But I'll mix it and just work from there. I'm not one that has to be absolutely tuned into a particular colour. But things like this outlining here of the pockets and that, it seems simple, but he'll go into outlining different colours to use, brushes to use, thicknesses of paint, all that type of stuff. You'll get taught all this. He's basically everything that you see on his busts here and on some of the larger figures. He will teach you the techniques to apply to your own, whether you decide to paint something like this Vietnam marine. Is it marine? Yeah, I believe so. Oh no, he's got the Air Cav patch on there. I didn't realise they had camouflage jackets. I thought it was the Marines that had the camouflage up on the DMZ. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, he'll teach you all that type of stuff. You know, it's invaluable. Eyes, he goes through every scale of eye from 1 in 35 up to these busts. And yes, you know, you can go on to YouTube videos and things like that. I can only say, you know, if you want to learn from a book, this is the one to go to. All the skin tones here, the different skin tones, he'll show you what he uses. Again, you don't have to do exactly the same, but he's showing you how to apply those techniques, how to paint the face from a sketch. And the sketch is from literally a blank canvas, as an artist would on a canvas. They don't just paint a face usually straight away. They'll sketch in dark areas, and some will put bright highlights, and others, like I believe Kirill says, he puts more like a mid-tone. So, you know, the midpoint of his painting as his highlight, and he'll obviously build up higher highlights after that. But then he'll put what we call the volumes to match into each other, blend into each other, glaze into each other. He uses a lot more stippling on the face, which I didn't realise, you know. I'm trying to learn stippling myself, and he stipples a lot on the faces, which when I'm looking at it at a close-up, I can see now. But anyway, he'll go into, what I'm trying to say is he goes into all that. You know, it really is an invaluable. I would say this is the first book that I am aware of that you can go from start to finish. And no, you're not going to be putting work out like this straight away. Of course, you're not. Well, unless you're absolutely talented, military modeller Paul. But you know, for the rest of us, it's a brilliant starting point. You know, whether you've just picking up painting, you've never painted before, or whether you, like myself, you know, you've been painting for busts for 2 or 3 years. But as you know, I probably only paint a couple of 3 a year with all the other projects I do. So, yeah, it's a brilliant book. Facial hair, he'll go into how to paint the light hairs on the arms, how to paint, you know, because it can be overpowering if you're not careful, or it just looks like, you know, nothing on earth and you ruin a good face. But he'll teach you, you know, how to apply, you know, facial hair and stuff. Right, I'll turn off and we'll go to another page. Here we go again. We've got a para with a piet. Try and say that when you've had a couple of beers. Denison smock. Again, very nice on the Denison, like that. He'll go on the different textures to use, just to give him more 3D. I mean, sculpting these days has come on leaps and bounds, and they will sculpt texture into your webbing, as we would call it in the UK. But as he says, you can enhance that even more by applying, you know, your different painting techniques. And he will go from start to finish on how to, you know, do this type of work, but also to change it for different scenarios, different colours, you know, different applications. He'll teach you also about all the different paints. Yes, I know we all paint in acrylics, oils, enamels, but he goes through at the beginning of the book all that stuff, as you'd expect. You know, where they can be applied, puts in a few pigments and stuff like the mud. I don't know if that is pigment on there, but he'll put pigments, quite happy to put pigments on things. So we'll go to another one. Here we go, a full standing figure, which I'm not going to probably get all in. But believe me, it's there. They can see him up there anyway. I believe that's a 90mm figure. Again, as he says, he'll show you the different lights, you know, halo lighting, how, you know, all the zenithal lighting, but to paint for the light on one side of the face or the other. you know, you can have a Caucasian face, say, or you can have a Southeast Asian face, whatever the face is, you can, it's what scenario that face is in. It could be in a dark tunnel, it could be next to a flame, a warm flame, a cold flame, because he does, don't think just because I'm showing you these historicals, he does loads of, some of his fantasy work, and that's fantastic, but obviously he paints a lot of box art for people. As he says, there's not always a lot of room to manoeuvre. A uniform's a uniform, you know, it has to be a certain colour. You can't paint this pink, and if you're trying to do a historical subject. But you can still make it your own by how you do the face and the textures and everything. I mean, it looks like he's put a shine to the M1 Garant there. We've got our, is it seal? I'm not sure. There's no actual, whether it's on the other side, but there's nothing to actually say which ones they're on, and I can't remember all of them. I've seen all of these. But again, you know, he's showing you, when we get, I don't know if I'm going to get to, I think I'm going to his non-metallics in a minute. He's world famous for his non-metallic work, and he'll show you on spheres. And I personally, I'm trying to learn it, and my wife has these different perfume bottles with the chrome tops on and all, and I keep them all, and some are like brushed steel tops and some are like flowers, and I keep them all because I use them to show me where the light reflects off them and how it catches and things like that. I mean, I'm just scratching the surface, obviously, with this. By the way, these are just obviously some of his artworks to inspire you, but also to give you close-up pictures, which I can't very well do because I'm restricted. But again, textures. I've got to do all this, actually. I was dreading this on the fighter pilot bus. There's a bit of stencil work to do, which is obviously free-handed and things. But he shows you, if there's like a tartan scarf, he'll show you how to make the pattern for the tartan scarf in diagram form. He'll literally draw a picture, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, this goes to here, that goes to there. It really is fantastic, you know. We've got a 30 cal water-cooled machine gun there, a big red one. I presume that would be for North Africa. I mean, you look at this type of work, and he'll show you how to do that. Again, he can show me how to do it, and I'll do it badly, but I'll get there. I've always said with painting, you've got to do a fair bit of it, and you've got to have a real will and a want to do it. The same as scale modelling. You know, you will get there. Now, will we all get to the point of a Kirill Kanaev? Of course we won't. You know, if we was all that good, then there'd be no point in people bringing these books out, would there? Because we'd all be 10 a penny. But I think once we're up to a standard where we're happy with our work, you know, where you just look at your bust here, or your display figure, as I call them, whether you're looking at your scale, as I've got up there, my King Tiger tank in 1:35 scale, you know, a couple of figures at the side of it, whatever, or you know, if there's no figures at all. But if you reach a point where you can sit back and, you know, I really like that, I've enjoyed doing that, you know, I think that's all that matters. You know, we're not all going to. I keep saying to Greg Riley, I says, oh, when we finally allowed to cut loose at Telford again, which by the look of it might not be a couple of years away yet, but when we do, you know, we'll have to, you know, throw caution to the wind, and why not enter the blooming competitions? But I can't see me being a competition painter. One, because obviously with my head problems, I can't travel around a great deal. Yeah, go as far as you use this book, and go as far as you can go with it. This is what he's really well known for, you know, his different non-metallics and that, and also his designs. Again, it's hard to show you that, but all that type of good stuff. You will get a few busts and figures where it's moulded on, but if there's a reason, you know, if it's in relief or whatever. But on the whole, you will have to do all these yourselves. But it's again, I'm struggling here to. I've got paint bottles everywhere. You look at the reflections on the axe there. You know, for even with a bust, you can tell a story with it. You know, is there a torch on the wall, and that's what's reflecting in the axe head? You know, you can tell even on the side of a helmet. I mean, some of these stuff where he will literally paint. You can see there's trees in that because it's reflecting the trees that he stood next to in, like might be a wood just to the one side of him, and you see some of his stuff on Putty and Paint where he's got that, and it's just you know you stood in the shadow of greatness. You really are. And he's not the only one. Don't get me wrong. He's wrote this book, so this is my take on him. But there's a few other people out there that obviously hold the same mantlet and do the same type of stuff, and they really do inspire. You know, they lift that barrier, they jump over that barrier. It's like a high jump, and you just want to follow them over. Usually, I don't even get close to knocking the barrier off the thing. I can't even get over it, but I try, and I think again as well, if you've tried, you've done your best. That's all you can say for yourself. We've got some metallic full-length figures here. I'm not sure if these are 75s or 90s or 120s even, but I think they're more than likely 75s or 90s. Again, he'll show you how to paint in metallic, but rather than just have it out of a bottle, he'll show you how to add things to them and shade them and, you know, all that good stuff. There isn't many figures. Now, you don't see me paint a lot of fantasy. It's because I'm a military history buff. I paint a lot of military, but I love seeing fantasy figures, and I will paint some myself off and on. It's just that, again, you only have so much time, you only have a limited budget, so you have to really throw the money at the things that you want to do, you know. So which is why you see me do more historical than anything. But I love watching fantasy things, you know, looking at fantasy busts and figures. And, you know, but I'm also... You look at Putty and Paint, and I always think, you know, fantasy's really taken over a lot from historical now. A lot of us historical painters... you don't get as much feedback as the fantasy guys do. That's just how it is. People seem to enjoy fantasy and all the colours and stuff you can do rather than sticking to a uniform, you know. But I do like my historicals, I have to say. I will do a medieval at some stage. It'd probably be a figure rather than bust. Although I do like it. There's a couple of Lanchonette busts out there which I wouldn't mind painting. I know that's slightly later period, but right. So we'll go on. I've only got a couple more. This is obviously the guy on the front of the box art. Again, fantastic, really expressive face from the sculpting side of it and the painting side of it. You know, if you had all the time in the world and a load of money, you just paint these busts all day long, 7 days a week. They're so much fun. I know they look scary, and I know a lot of people just don't like to see a torso and a head or maybe one arm, but you can. I don't know. I like busts particularly out of all the painting genres. That's a good fancy artistic word. Of all the painting genres out there, busts are my favourite because I love the expressions in the faces, and just in that small area, you can do so much to tell the story of what the figure is. And that's the back view of the guy, and this is another one. Remember this just because of the helmet, and I love the colours he chose. And again, he'll show you, you know, what colours. I mean, he'll show you all this, but when it comes to paint, it's a personal choice, and you'll have to come to terms with that yourself. But at least he'll show you what works well with each other and things like that. Again, he's written all the, he's done all the shield himself. And again, the leather work, fantastic. And the face, I mean, with the scarring, I can't remember if that sculpt comes with the scarring or if he's painted that on himself. And he will adapt. He's a real artist. He can adapt. He shows in the book a Native American bust. He thought that the face, it was a nice bust, but he thought the face he wanted to make the face look older, and he literally got a Dremel and reamer and removed the eyes, removed the nose to a degree, and then put his own putty on. I'm not that good, but that's what I'm saying. He's top drawer. And last one, again, I remember these guys. Absolutely cracking. I just, I've seen this particular one. Well, I've seen them both done by a fair few top drawer artists, and they've used different either non-metallics, metallics, literally both. Sometimes they've gone into. I mean, he's gone into realistic detail there. Some people have gone into hyper detail, some into less. You can do so much with these things. You don't. These guys will inspire you, but then it's for you to take your own journey. So, guys, as I say, I didn't want to. I'm sorry if you feel a bit cheated, or I'm being a bit cheap on you, but I do strongly think that that these guys have taken a long time out of their life, and it is their job. Yes, they make money on doing this, but that's their job, and I'm not going to, chip away at that by showing you the, free pictures of how to do stuff. But I've got no problem showing you Kirill's artwork. I don't think AK will mind, and I don't think he will mind, because I can't speak, as you would have thought, I'm gushing over this book because I really do think it's absolutely worth the money. I haven't gone into depth on it all yet. I'm literally just going through the colour. Am I going through colours at the moment? I believe I am. But I don't know. I can't speak highly of it enough. It's got everything that you'd want to find in a frequently asked questions. How do I do non-metallic? And when I say do non-metallic, he doesn't just. When you paint, say, non-metallic, you've got to understand where the light bounces off things. It's not just a case of, use this paint, and this paint. You've got to know what would normally reflect light, or reflect shadows, or reflect, back on your light. I've mentioned the trees and things like that. But anything that you want to know, I'm bound to be people out there that'll say, oh, well, it should have had this in, or it should have had that in. Fine, it's your honest opinion. But for me, I find it hard to spend £70 odd on things. It's a big sacrifice for me. And I actually mentioned it to my married Greg Riley, and he said, Gav, it's a book that will be on your bookshelf for as long as you're around. You can dip into it any time, and I genuinely, I agree with that. I'm not going to be going to any Kirill's painting classes. I couldn't ever afford them, and probably anybody else's either. But I've got a book that gives me a good grounding in how to achieve something like that. Or, as I say, there's even a Space Marine in there, I believe. I've only flicked through it, so I don't know if he was showing you a reason to paint the Space Marine. I've got no idea, but I'm just saying there's something in there for everyone. As I say, wargaming side of it, probably not, unless you want the bestest, blingingest, artistic wargaming figures there's ever been, and you're prepared to paint one a month. But yeah, just if you can spare the money, and these are blooming hard times, hey, flog a book in the middle of a pandemic. But if you can scrape the money together, I think it is a real worthy investment. And I do credit AK for putting the money behind it to pay Kirill to be able to write the book, and Kirill himself for allowing us to see what a top drawer artist produces, because it is worth every penny. And I would actually, walking away from this one, I say I've got the Teeth 55 book, which I didn't buy. My Mara Frederick from the Hobby Shack sent it to me. That's been a constant companion of mine ever since I had it, and I still dip into this now to get ideas. I'm about to build a T-34 tank, and that's going to be converted into like from the Yugoslav Civil War. I got my T55 book out again because there's a T55 that's been done, and you can use the same techniques but apply it to a different tank. What I'm trying to say is they do a diorama book as well, and I always thought, who's going to spend 70 quid on a diorama book? Well, I've just spent 75 quid on this one, and I'll be straight with you. If the diorama book is as good as this one, in its out the way they've presented it, I will probably get that at some stage. It'll be a way away yet, but I will probably have my eye out for that. So guys, thanks for indulging me. By the way, it's got the Union flag on the corner here. It's in English and it's in Spanish. They're the only ones. I did go on AK's website when I was looking to get this. And to be honest with you, it was easy. It was cheaper for me to get it from UK suppliers. But it's in English, English and Spanish at the moment. So thanks a lot for, if you have stuck with it. I hope you've enjoyed Kirill Kanaev's artwork, because it's absolutely fantastic. I do thank Mamara Victor from Vic's Minis or Vic's Miniatures. You all should know Victor anyway by now. He may well put a comment on the deck, so just press on his thing and follow his channel. He's put a better. I've just gushed over a load of figures. He's done a better review than I have, and you will see some of the pages opened up for you. So go and check Vic's work out, or Vic's take on this. But thanks, Victor. As I say, it was your video that I would have probably kept pushing it back, not because I didn't want it, but I just thought 70 quid was a lot of money. But I'm really glad I have. As I say, I'm gushing over this just because it's, for someone like me who's so excited about painting, it's the best thing since sliced bread. So, guys, look after yourselves. Coming up, we've got hopefully the weekend. I got the colours the other day for the 28mm British Napoleonic Guards infantry battalion, which I stuffed up the first colours, if you remember. So you'll be getting a final reveal on those. We'll probably, what we got coming up? The diorama, as I said, I've shown you half the diorama painted. I don't know if I'll show you the rest until all the little tiny bits are on, just so I don't want to bore you. I've painted another quarter of it last night, but we'll have some more King Tiger stuff coming up, and probably I'm trying to paint that Dragoon bust in oils, the V bust. That will be having a show soon, and I've 2/3 of the way through some 18mm commission work, AB Saxon artillery batteries. They're almost, well, as I say, 2/3 done, so I've got a third to go on those, but you should be seeing some Saxon artillery batteries coming up in the next week or so, and then some other bits and pieces. It's all, oh yeah, that was it, an unboxing of the two kids from the Volkstrom pulling along the handcart for the diorama, so I'll be doing that as well in the next few days. Really do appreciate your company. I can't thank you enough for stopping by and taking a look at the channel. It's good of you to do so. You keep your heads down, keep dodging that virus. Keep, as I say, just keep being as positive as you can be with the painting and the modelling and anything else that floats your boat, that you can takes your mind off the dark times we're living in. And we'll catch each other very, very soon on another video. Cheers.